Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. My name is Jan-Jaap Abbink. We're live on Facebook, we're live on X, we are live on Twitch, and we're live on YouTube, of course. I just had to check, peeps. Welcome to the stream. For those who are new to the podcast, I am Jan-Jaap Abbink. I am the only man, real man, existing man, live in person behind JJ Sports Studio. Just, you know, because there's a freak going around, and I'm not going further in details, but he wants attention. Anyway, as stating, I don't exist. Well, verified. It's so funny, peeps. But anyway, let's talk about wrestling and everybody. The case is that today, Kenny Omega made a statement in the media, and I actually wanted to go further on this matter because about the ticket prices between WWE and AEW. Now I've been browsing a little bit through social media what's been stated by some people, and some really don't realize what is actually going on, and that it is quite serious. I've been to a lot of live events. I've been to two WrestleManias. To AEW All-Ins, I've been to house shows, I've been to Monday Night Raws, I've been to SmackDown. I think Raw and of AEW and WWE, I think around 10 or 12 shows, or around average. And the thing is, sometimes we work and sometimes don't. And when I'm talking about work, that works a little bit different with ticket prices, all right? So that I'm not going into because... yeah, you have to work in the media as I do. The thing is that today a lot of people are noticing if you want to go to a WWE show, the prices are high, and it is what Kenny Omega said is actually true. The case is, last show I was at was actually in WWE house show in Copenhagen. I was there for JJ Sports Studio, see if we could get something going, or maybe get some interviews, but we didn't succeed in, but that is some technical more issue. But the thing is, what did I pay? It was around even a ticket price for a house show in Denmark. I can remember I was to a UFC show once that cost $750, and WWE said already on $1,000. So it's already $1,000, and that's a lot, people, even for Denmark. The case is, the show was pretty stacked, and that is because you have to think about there's not so many WWE shows coming to Denmark. So they're lucky. There they can still, put the prices up because, yeah, it's monopoly almost. You know, AEW doesn't come to Denmark. If you want to go to Denmark to an AEW show, you have to go to London. And what is fine, that is fine. So actually, I've been a little bit doing digging today. And the case is what a lot of people forget about is when you go to these live events, you're not going alone. And a lot of people say, yeah, but one ticket costs so much. Yeah, but you're never going alone, right? And if we take WWE also for that matter, is they go actually up on of the business model is actually focusing on children. That's their main focus. That's their business focus. I'm not saying who watches are old children. I'm not saying that. So, but business model. So a lot of children love WWE. They see them as hero worship. So they want to go see live. Wouldn't you? I mean, think about it. If you were as a kid, as a 9 or 10-year-old, you're a big fan of Roman Reigns, and you want to see him live, wouldn't you? No, that is the thing. So one ticket, and that's the thing, right? If a kid goes, a kid can't go alone. They won't let him on the building. I think it's from 12. I think it's around 15 or something. You have to have a guardian along, and rightfully so. I mean, it's all that a lot of people forget about this. And personally, when I go to such shows, I don't go either alone. It's boring. Why should you go alone to a wrestling event? I go with some friends. Um, and let's. So I make it a little bit, an uh, I actually made even a mistake in the matter. Yeah, okay. Let's do a little bit math. Let's say we go to WWE. We're a little family, mommy and daddy, and 2 kids, right? Average family, so family of 4. Now, if you go to a show, right, you have to pay ticket prices. So, uh, what are you actually paying for? Because you're not only paying for a ticket. If you go there, especially with kids, you also have to buy some merchandise. So let's say we buy everybody in a shirt, right? Now I've been doing a little bit googling how T-shirts with WWE shows today goes around $40. That is actually standard, right? So if you buy a T-shirt from Roman Reigns or whatever, well, you have 2 kids. So that's already 2 T-shirts. Dad is a great fan. Mom hangs along. She wants to hang out. Cool. So that's 4 T-shirts, peeps. 4 T-shirts. That's $160 come on top of it. Well, you're not going to sit there alone. So if you're going to sit on the drive-in, you have 2 drinks, right? Each person, right? So that is around what? $8 per drink. Daddy wants a beer, kids want a Coke, mommy wants wine. I don't know if they actually serve wine, but okay. Mommy is cool. She drinks a cola because she has to drive home because daddy wants a beer, right? Now that's 4 times 8. That's $32. And you want a popcorn, right? Nice snack. So don't go too hasty. I mean, we don't want our kids fat, so each gets 1 popcorn. Right, that's anyway $10 per popcorn. All these I found via Google. So if I'm wrong, but we go after it's correct. That's $40. So we're looking at $232 just on average. You don't even have the ticket yet. Right, so let's write it down. I mean, I'm not the youngest anymore. That's WWE. Now, popcorn, drinks, and T-shirts. That's the same actually also for AEW. So I'll take that along. You can also say, well, we'll cross it off. Now, I went to look at both promotions on actually on ticket prices, right? So I took the biggest events. I took from WWE. I took the stadium event WrestleMania, and from AEW All in Wembley Stadium, right? Now, I took a seat that was because our little family we have going around. I don't even know a name, but whatever. The Johnson family, all right? We call ourselves the Johnson family. So the Johnson family, big hardcore wrestling fans. So first I want to go to WrestleMania, right? Now I took a ticket, very good places, not directly ringside, but a, a seat level behind it. At that time, you pay with WrestleMania per person $1,172. But remember, we were 4 people, right? So you have to do that with 4 times, right? We agree on that, right? So now I have to go a little bit on. I gave my, I'm not going to count that out on in my head. So 1172 times 4, right? Then already on ticket prices alone, already on $4,688, peeps. Just the ticket price for a family of 4, right? So on top come the free $232 for drinks, snacks, and a T-shirt. Yeah, then you come around on $4,920 just for WrestleMania for a family of 4. All right, now we're going to do AEW All In. The All In, same seat area, was around 304 pound. I directly went on Valuta Exchange, so that comes on $396 per person, right? So 3 times 96 times 4, that's 1,584 people. $1,584 4 persons, right? Plus, of course, we want also our cola, 2 colas, a snack, and a T-shirt, right? Same as WrestleMania we did. You know, we're a pretty standard family. We do everything standard. So that's $232 as we counted out. See, that is 18, and that is the price you pay for all in. $1,816. Okay, we write that down. Now we're going to see how much the difference is, right? You know, I never done maths on a live stream before. It's the first time. 4,952 minus 1816. The difference between WrestleMania and AEW All In is $3,036. That's the difference. And I can tell you this. Right? Keep this in mind, peeps. For a family of 4, where they also have to pay rent each month, put food on the table, have normal average job, right? All nothing special, you know. If you're not a multimillionaire, let's say a normal average Joe family. That is a lot of money. You know, I'm not even talking about hotel stays, traveling, or whatever. So you can twist and ignore Kenny Omega, but he has a point. And that is just one show. WWE does this almost every pay-per-view. Meaning, we're talking about 10, 11 shows per year. That's just the pay-per-views, peeps. Now, if you go to Dynamite, or you go to Raw or SmackDown. Not going into NXT because that's a little bit more difficult. There also WWE prices are more expensive. It's not that big difference, um, but the thing is, it's still a lot of money. So every week, if you want to go to WWE, you just have to pay a lot extra. And for a family of four, where they also have normal lively costs, as I said, maybe even the mom and dad smoke. Jesus Christ, that I don't smoke, but I know the prices. And that is the thing, and that we forget about. And you're not buying one ticket. Never do. Because even if you're not going with a family member, you go with a friend. Or maybe you take your girlfriend. Let's be real here, man, peeps. We're real man. We keep our girl free. You pay for your girlfriend. Still, even if it's just 2 tickets, it's still a lot of money. And then you can say, yeah, but WWE is good quality. And sure it is. Definitely. They have a lot of experience. Sure. But the difference that much? And think about, I'm not an AEW guy. I'm not a WWE AEW guy. I'm not a WWE guy. I'm just standing now on a neutral spot and looking at these prices, right? And think about an average Joe can't afford this difference. For each month, if you just go to the pay-per-views, every pay-per-view, the green shirt guy, we know that been talked about now, he gets a little bit off prices, I think, what I could understand. But the thing is, we still pay a lot of difference. And that is the problem. And what I'm scared for is that WWE one day gets such a big hit. And I don't want that because I want everybody to go enjoy themselves. Going to live events, it's something special. It's a really special experience. I can tell you that. And as I said, I've been to AEW shows, I've been to WWE's, I even been to TNA some, by the way, because I have to think about it. But the thing is, and you know what it is? It's funny, right? I tell you this story. I tried sometimes, and it's funny to try. If you go to a live event, you should try this. If it comes live on TV, you should definitely try this. You see the same effect. When you go to such a live event that's been televised, right, and you see it live, it feels almost like you're watching a different show. Yes, the results are the same, but it feels different. You feel more touched, you feel more emotionally involved, you enjoy it more. And the thing is, WWE can do that, especially with the lighting, everything. It's perfect almost, right? But, I was to AEW All In, right? Same thing. It didn't do so much difference. The event was great. A lot of pyros and the impact of being live in Wembley Stadium, the huge crowds, it makes such an impact. And it's funny, when you come home, and I tried that, and it's so funny, right? You watch it on TV, it's totally different show. Absolutely. And that's what it makes it special going to a live event. The atmosphere, as I said, But the difference, you can't on your television see the difference of being on a live event. Anyway, what I'm saying to you is enjoy it as it is, and what I'm trying to say to you is if you want to go to a live event, make sure you have the money, and it's fine. But the problem is, I think one day WWE will hit itself on its head because no one can keep affording this going every month to a live pay-per-view. No one can. I mean, so if 10, 11 shows, so that's a difference of almost $30,000 just to go to live events between WWE and AEW, right? And the thing is, with WWE shows of pay-per-views, they only get, 4 matches. And that's what I feel sometimes a little bit screwed by, that if you look at these ticket prices, I think it's not relevant if you watch 4 matches and you pay 1,100 for a ticket. It's almost unrealistic. This, what is it? Almost $250, a little bit more. Let's say $275 per match you pay. That's what you pay for a WWE event. You know, $275 for one match. And where does this actually come from? I'm going to go also into that. It is TKO. And don't blame them. These companies like TKO, what they do is they buy companies, they go in and they want to get so much money out of them. First of all, the first money they bought the company with, then they want to make sure that the company is getting more financial profitable. And if it's not, they just sell it again, right? But you know, if you where does wrestling promotions earn on? That's merch. That's ticket prices, where they screw you over at this moment. Sorry, I say so. And of course, TV deals. That is the income mostly for WWE or any wrestling promotion. Same goes for AEW. Right. The negative thing with AEW, I will also go on that. Events can be a little bit long. I will admit to that. Sometimes the cards have, it's 9, 10, 11 matches. You know, then sometimes if there's matches in between, you know, you're really not bonding with. That is normal with a live event. You look forward to several matches, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 matches, right? Maybe on an AEW card. In WWE, maybe even just 2. This is also another thing. You never look forward to every match. It's not possible because or you must be so obsessed with the product. But so sometimes an event can take a little bit long, and you know, in those breaks that you don't want to see, you go get a drink. All right, that is very normal. And what I'm trying to say to you guys is, I hope also for not just for you guys, but also for the wrestling product, that WWE really start to take these prices down. And I think also at this moment that the ticket prices are the ticket sales with WWE for WrestleMania, that it's not really sold out as or should be at a number as they should have been in the past, is due to the high ticket prices. Because I believe for certain that already a lot of people can't afford just to go to a live to WrestleMania, and that's a shame. Because what you get is suddenly WrestleMania before the rich and the rich, and I think it also has to do a little bit with another fact. Also, you know, WWE wants WrestleMania to be compared to the Super Bowl, to the Champions League final. But the thing is with the Super Bowl and the Champions League final is that's only once in a whole year. WWE does this with every pay-per-view. That's 10 times. Ticket price for Raw and also SmackDown will go up. So as I said before, eventually I think it will hit. eventually, I think because you know, even you, if you can afford it, you're not going every show to see the shows live. You just can't because you still have to work sometime. So eventually it will hit. When it will happen, I don't know. I really don't know. That is hard to say at this moment. Especially now WWE is coming back to Las Vegas, doing WrestleMania 2 times in Las Vegas while they've already been there. You know, that's not smart. That's why it also is it maybe not selling out because of the high ticket prices. And last year they were in WrestleMania. People in Las Vegas have something. Well, I've seen last year live. You know, next time why should I go again this year? I've seen last year live. So there can be something in it. But of course, WrestleMania, there's people traveling around the globe from it. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my take on the high ticket prices. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions towards it, leave the leave your questions in the comments. I will get to them. Otherwise, we'll do the next podcast. We'll go over them, and I'll answer your questions as I best I can. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great Easter. We're back next week. We're going to do the predictions for AEW Dynasty next week. So tune in. Stay care, peeps, and see you then.